Good afternoon from Highland Hills Farm. It's about 18 degrees out right now with a 20-mile-an-hour wind, so it feels like about 7 degrees. We just thought we'd bring you along and show you the daily chores, taking care of the cows, and maybe introduce you to the cows if they want to cooperate today. But anyway, follow along with us as we show you today's adventure. So as you can see, they're all happy to see us. They're coming up. This is Peanut. This here is Buttercup. And back there, he's kind of a loner. That's Reese's. So we've got Reese's, Peanut, and Buttercup. These guys were all hand raised. We got them when they're about 4 to 5 days old. And so they're pretty used to us. This one here, Buttercup, he gave us some problems. After that first week we had him, he just stopped eating. At that point, we were bottle feeding him with cow formula, and he just stopped eating. And I don't know if you're familiar with calves or not, they can get dehydrated extremely quick. Matter of hours, they can go downhill pretty quick, and he did. It's the point where we kind of had to hold him up, and I had to quickly learn how to do an esophageal feeder. Which we had to put, which is basically a bag with a hose on it with about an 18-inch long hollow tube, and you have to put that tube all the way down his throat into his stomach. So I had to learn how to do that pretty quick, but we were able to get it in there and get him some beneficial fluids, electrolytes, and we just kind of prayed on him that night. We did everything we could for him and came back the next morning, and he was good to go. He's been good ever since. So this is Peanut. He's kind of the mischievous one out of all of them. He likes to use me as a rubbing post. But these are all jerseys. We get these cows from a local dairy. They usually do an insemination program, but once in a while there's some mistakes naturally, and they get a bull instead of a heifer. So we get these bulls pretty reasonable from them. And I know jerseys aren't your typical cow for meat, but this was our first go around with cows. So we were didn't know a whole lot about them. So I figured we didn't want to put a huge investment in on more expensive cows. So we figured we go with the jerseys for our first time around. So as you can see, he's pretty friendly. He likes to push me around, and we can fight a little bit. But yeah, he likes to use me as a rubbing post. He kind of looks different than all the other ones, but maybe why he's a little mischievous. But anyway, follow along with us, and we'll go down and feed these guys. They're always happy to get their grain. Here we go. He's a little closer now. This is Reese's, Peanut, and Buttercup. Buttercup is the only one that has horns. The other ones I think were kind of naturally polled, meaning they genetically they were able to get the horns removed, or so they wouldn't come out at all. But Buttercup's the only one that's got little horns there. So he is not one that you want rubbing on your leg, because those horns do not feel good going up and down your legs. But they seem to all be doing all right. Last night was really cold. I always get concerned. I know cows are usually all set out in the cold, but they can get stressed a little bit. And the cows need to eat. If people aren't familiar with how cows are, cows need to eat to stay warm. So as they eat, and the food goes in their room, and it starts to ferment, and it creates body heat. So they kind of get heated from the inside out. But anyway, they'll follow us down. I'm kind of unsure about the camera. They're kind of creatures of habit, so they can kind of notice when something isn't quite the same as it was before. And but they know grain's coming, so they'll come down. Anyway, we'll join you down at the barn, and while we feed them. So they get about 18 pounds of grain every day. There's some corn mixed in with it. We also give them some alpha hay, which I'll show you that in a bit. We'll get this in their bin, get them eating. Kind of keeps them distracted so they stay out of our way.
You boys gonna go in and eat? Peanut is typically the first one in at the feeding trough every day. Seems to be the more feisty one.
So they all have their own pecking order. This is exactly how they line up every day. If Peanut, the far one there, was happened to be in the middle, they'd switch it right around and get back to the normal setup that they usually go. So it's usually always Reese's and Buttercup and Peanuts, the furthest one in. That's how they line up every day. It's kind of interesting, but they have their own pecking order. So this is the other stuff we give them. We don't give it to them all the time. Just when it's kind of cold out, just give them a little extra protein and energy. But this is called alpha hay. It's a probiotic alfalfa that's kind of fermented with apple cider vinegar. It smells really good. They seem to love it. We're not sponsored by them or anything, but just a product we use that they seem to enjoy. We just supplement a little bit of that with them for forage.
So every day we come out here and we will clean out their barn here so that they have a fresh place to sleep and stay warm and stay out of the weather. So every day this is what we do. We scoop out their barn and then put down a new fresh layer of straw. They do seem awfully curious today about what we're doing with this new camera. Typically, they'd have their face in their trough eating. As you can see, our water trough is iced over again. We're working on getting the hose line thawed out and then fill this, and then we usually use an air compressor to blow the line out so that it's not full of water. Meanwhile, our boys are playing in the field. So right now our hose is frozen, so we are working on trying to thaw it out so we can get the cows their water. Thankfully we have this larger torch that we're able to use to try and get it thawed out. Trick is to not leave it in one spot for too long or it will melt the hose.
So we're just wrapping up our chores. We ended up having to haul water with our buckets. Even our hydrant that's supposed to be freeze-free was not. So it froze. So we ended up hauling 2 trips down, 40 gallons each. So we got it done. So these guys have all been fed now, and they're hopefully will go settle down, sleep inside, and get out of the wind. They have that option. All our wind comes from the southwest, which is off that direction. So this kind of keeps them out of the wind. But they don't always use it. Sometimes you just go ahead and lay by a bale of hay, but cows are different. But they seem to be doing all right. So, but yeah. They'll follow us out of here, I'm sure. I think we're going to take them to the house. But anyway, that's it for today. We've done all our chores. We already did the chickens and the ducks, so we're gonna head up to the house and eat some dinner. Again, it's dutting down now. It's about 16 degrees. Wind's still blowing about 20 miles an hour, so we probably got a feel like temp about 7 degrees. Another couple cold nights. Hopefully we get a warming trend after that. But we'll see you all next time. Remember, help us out with our YouTube channel if you can. If you want to subscribe, and if you like our videos, give it a thumbs up and throw a comment in there if you have any questions. You can always just put a question in the comment box and we'll try to answer you the best we can in the most timely fashion.
Life's an adventure near and far. Join us today at Highland Hills Farm.